Okay, so let's go to your quarterback, JJ McCarthy. Now, for those who don't know, Mario was on during the Super Bowl week, and Mario was all for moving on from Sam Darnold and keeping JJ McCarthy and having him start the following season. All for it. So we also saw Sam Darnold coming here and had a great season. I mean, MVP caliber type season and led y'all to the fifth seed, but you could have been the first seed in the whole NFC if you won the last game. That's how good y'all were last year. So give me your expectations for JJ McCarthy.
Well, first I'm gonna say this, okay? For y'all who are listening right now, I want to say this one time when it comes to a quarterback. Your passing stats and your TDs don't matter. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Now let me explain. And then we grew up. I'm 24. Okay, a lot of us are past the year are past 21 years old who are listening. In our era, there were two quarterbacks, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. One guy would dominate the regular season. I mean, talking, he can get you 40 passing touchdowns. He had offensively, statistically, incredible. And there was another guy who would get you 25 TDs in a regular season. And then when the postseason came, he let you up. I'm just saying this right now. One's got 2 Super Bowls, the other one's got 7. You pick which one you want. Now, that's all I'm going to say. Now, I'm not dissing Peyton Manning. I think he's incredible. But the truth is, as a quarterback, y'all got to understand that your passing stats don't matter. It's all about what you can do in that 2-minute drill. 2 minutes left. You got to go win that game. You're down by 6. How are you going to win? Go. I'm glad you could throw 40 touchdowns. What are you going to do in 2 minutes? What are you going to do when you're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs and they leave you 20 seconds left on the clock and you got to go score a touchdown? Or you got to go at least get them a field goal. You have to know how to run that type of offense. You got to know how to run the clock, and you got to know how to make game-winning choices. So with that being said, we go to J.J. McCarthy. Now, I can say whether or not I got full faith in J.J. McCarthy, or I can prove it to you. Now, you said last time I dropped some knowledge. I wanted to make sure I had the stats coming into this one because I
Okay.
see Dave's really good with his stats. I've seen Mercado. He's really good with his stats. I listen to y'all. I see the films. I see the reels. Y'all back it up with stats. So I'm going to back it up with stats too.
Okay.
J.J. McCarthy, when he was in high school, he played for Nazareth. He eventually ended up playing for IMG Academy. His starting stats as a high school player, 36-2 record, 7,905 yards, 94 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Now it gets better from there. State title with Nazareth in 2018, national title 2020 with IMG Academy, 2019 Illinois Player of the Year. Good high school stats, but then they're going to tell you what are you going to do against D1 competition in Michigan. Okay. Michigan stats, record 27-1 as a starter, never lost to Ohio State. 2023 national champion. Y'all know about that, but you're going to say he got carried by Blake Corum. I'm glad you said that. 6,226 yards, 49 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns, so 59 total touchdowns. Program record 72.3% completion and a program record interception rate of 1.20. Rose Bowl MVP. You know who we faced in the Rose Bowl? Nick Saban's Alabama. That was the last game Nick Saban coached. You know who else was on that team? The defensive player, one of the best defensive players in college, Dallas Turner, who, by the way, I didn't even mention on the defense when I talked about them. Expect a lot from Dallas Turner, by the way, people. So then you're going to say, well, that's college, you know. He got carried by Blake Corum. What else is he going to do? So you go to the first preseason game he had against the Raiders. He threw it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, the first 2 quarters looked terrible. Not going to lie to you. He threw that interception, thought it was stupid. I was like, God, is this what we're going to see? Because it's going to be a long season for me. After that first interception, his total stats, 11 for 17, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He threw now y'all might be like, oh, you know, it might have been a 2-yard pass, 5-yard pass. We all know J.J. McCarthy can't throw the deep ball, right? 48-yard touchdown and a 33-yard touchdown pass. You want to know who those 2 guys were? It must have been Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. Nah, it was Tristan Jackson and Trent Scurfield. Do those sound like starters to you? Because it doesn't to me. So, and then last but not least, he tears his meniscus. Now, I'm just going to ask a question. If you've gone through high school, college as a winner, you went through adversity in NFL, a little bit of adversity in the NFL, and you overcame it. And even when you threw that 1 pick, a lot of people, they throw that pick, a lot of quarterbacks, you've seen it, they throw that first pick, they see that they're doing bad, and they don't recover from it. You ended the game with 2 interceptions, 1 pick, and you went 11 for 17. His passer rating was 116. Just saying, now I got a question. If you've proved all of that, why don't I have trust in you? That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying JJ McCarthy is going to be a stud. I'm not saying he's the next Tom Brady, nothing like that. But all I'm saying is this guy has proven time and time again that not only can he win, he can overcome adversity. Excuse me. This is the same guy that said he came from a hockey state. Michigan's one of the best states when it comes to hockey. He said, I love hockey. He said, I love how these guys can get 100 stitches in their face and come back. So I love the toughness. I love the mentality that he has. This was a guy who was constantly asking the defense questions. He was showing up to practice and games with a torn meniscus. He didn't have to be there. He didn't have to be at the games. He didn't have to be at practice. He was constantly showing up to the meetings with a torn meniscus. He was constantly asking the defensive questions. I heard stories that he was in the defensive meetings as a quarterback. What quarterbacks do you know stay in the defensive meetings? Like just to learn about the defense. I'm just saying. Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, I'm saying that's smart. That's smart.
That's what I'm saying. It shows he's smart. He's got commitment. And on top of that, overall, I mean, I do feel like everybody's just trashing this kid because he didn't throw 60 touchdowns in a season. That's great and all. That's absolutely wonderful. You can throw 60 touchdowns in a college football season. You know who else did that? Kyle Trask. Have we seen Kyle Trask start an NFL game?
Nope.
No. Okay. Caleb Williams threw how many touchdowns this senior year? A bunch. Did Caleb Williams have a great NFL season? Not really. Everybody thought he was the number one pick. There were 4 quarterbacks in that draft that I think did better than him that year. So the truth is, it's not about your stats don't matter. It's all about your track record as a winner. Now, he was a winner in high school. He was a winner in college. So I'm just saying, if that's the mentality that you're bringing, if that's what you're bringing to this culture, we need it. Because I'm saying this right now, the 2 worst teams that you can be a fan of is the Bills and the Vikings. Because at least if you're a fan of the Browns, you know you're gonna get disappointment. Like if you're a fan of certain teams like that, like you're not gonna have a good season.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that when you're a fan of the Vikings, do you know the Vikings, they have the 5th highest win percentage out of all 32 NFL teams, and the 4 that are before them all won a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's a problem because the Vikings are constantly a good team. They just can never get over that hump no matter what. It's like a cursed city. Same thing with the Bills. The Bills are constantly a great team. They just can't get over that hump. And again, I've said it in the last episode, but in case y'all didn't watch that episode, we have had every single quarterback under the book. We have had gunslingers, guys like Kirk Cousins, guys like Brett Favre when he was there for that one, when he was there in 2009. We've had guys like Sam Darnold. We've had athletic guys like Teddy Bridgewater, Dante Culpepper, Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham. We've had guys who can manage a field. Like we've had every single quarterback you can think of, but we never had a guy who can get you a winning drive within 2 minutes. We never had it. We never had a guy that when it comes to the biggest moment can show up and show out. And I'm just saying, JJ McCarthy, he looks the part. The entire team says this dude's the truth. So there's not a reason for me not to believe in him. And a lot of people are going to, in training camp, I think the last time I saw his stats, they could have changed. I knew he threw maybe he probably threw an interception since then. But the last time I saw his training camp stats for this season, playing against the ones, because he's a starter now, 27 TDs, 2 picks. I'm just saying, and everybody's saying, oh, that's training camp. He had 1 good preseason game. What's he going to prove in the NFL? I'm sorry that he's a rookie and he tore his meniscus and he couldn't play a whole season. That's not his fault. Injuries happen in this game. But the problem is everybody just looks at what he did in college and goes, Blake Corum. Blake Corum was the reason why they won. But I'm just saying, do you know what happened when he wasn't the starting quarterback before he started for Michigan? They weren't beating Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh was on the verge of losing his job. He comes in, all of a sudden they start winning. They're going to start mentioning, oh, they had spies on the other side. And there's always an excuse when it comes to JJ McCarthy because they don't want to admit that the guy's a winner. They don't want to admit it. There's always excuses. He had spies. Okay, they got busted for the first 7 games. They had to play the next 8 games. They still went undefeated. So explain that. I'm just saying, and I'm not condoning cheating or nothing like that. I thought that was wrong. But regardless, you're putting it on the quarterback, and you're saying well, the reason why he's winning is because of all these external factors. Now, he's going to have a good season in Minnesota. It's going to be because of Justin Jefferson. It's going to be because of Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson. He was built for this offense. There's always going to be some type of excuse when it comes to JJ McCarthy. And I'm cool with that because you know what that means? When you constantly give excuses as to why somebody's good, it means they're becoming great. So overall, you ask me how I feel about him. He hasn't given me a reason not to have any trust in him. I don't have a reason not to trust him. I think JJ McCarthy's going to have a great season.
I'm hearing a lot of good stuff from camp, like his mental, not just his play. Talk about how his leadership. They're saying that like he's commanding the offense. His voice is being heard with the Vikings. Like he already showing that leadership in the Vikings room. So that's some good stuff right there. Now, do you have any like? Oh yeah, you said stats don't matter, but do you have any potential stats or no?
Yeah, I'm not expecting 30 touchdowns in a rookie season from him. I'm not expecting him to go 38-10 or something like that, like Darnold did. I'm not expecting that. Okay, he's a rookie, so I expect maybe like, I think if I had to give a final, I'm gonna go maybe 20. I'm gonna go 26 TDs, 10 picks. I'm gonna go 26 TDs, 10 interceptions. I think that's relatively fair. I think he's had a year to study this playbook. He was already saying he can't wait to work in this offense when he was hurt. I do think he's a smart, intelligent kid. I think he's got the athleticism. For y'all who say he can't throw, trust me, that kid can throw 70 yards down the field. Okay, so y'all will learn pretty soon that this kid has an arm. I say 26 TDs, 10 picks. I think that's a reasonable. As far as the passing TDs and the interceptions, as far as yards, I think he's going to get close to 4,000. I think he'll crack like 3,800. And I think he'll have maybe like 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns.
That's a solid season.
Yeah, I mean for a rookie, that's a solid season. I'm not expecting 30 touchdowns him to break any like rookie NFL records, but I do expect him to have a decent season with the Vikings. I do expect him to actually flourish in this defense, in this offense. And if he can't, because this is a great offense to be a part of, if he can't, then you're gonna really start raising questions about that team.
It's funny when you were like describing JJ McCarthy about how like stats don't matter. It's about getting the job done, XYZ. It sounded like you were describing Jalen Hurts. Like I look at Jalen Hurts like that. Like people find excuses why he's not good. When
Right.
you know, you said something good. Like when people find excuses why you're not good, I mean you're becoming great.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm not an Eagles fan, you know, and but it's because of their fans. Like I just don't like that Eagles fan base. I really don't. And there's a lot of them in that group chat and they just make it so toxic. But I'd be lying to you if I said Jalen Hurts wasn't a good quarterback. But it's the same thing that they said about Jalen Hurts, you know, and a lot of those Eagles fans, they were criticizing Jalen Hurts in the beginning.
Yes, they were.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of them. I was like, dang, he really doesn't look that great. But you know what? It's not about how you look in the regular season. You go get that job done, you go make a playoff berth. The Eagles were one of the most dangerous teams. And then when it came down to the Super Bowl, Saquon Barkley, you know, he didn't have the best game in that Super Bowl. Well, guess who did? Jalen Hurts. So I'm just, you know, another perfect quarterback who wasn't great in the regular season. When it came to the postseason, he popped off. Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco put a lot of nightmares in Pittsburgh Steelers fans. He put a lot of nightmares in a lot of teams. He had a winning record against Tom Brady. I mean, it's all about what you do in the postseason. And people don't understand that. They think because you're going to throw for 40 yards in the regular season, you're the it guy. There's guys who've thrown for 40 touchdowns in the regular season, and they can't get past the divisional round. So I don't care like what you can do in the regular. I don't care if you throw 50 touchdowns in a regular season. If you're not winning playoff games, I don't want you. Like, if you're not winning playoff games, that's when it's going to matter the most. And at the end of the day, you could throw 50 touchdowns all you like. All those quarterbacks that threw 40 touchdowns last year, I guarantee you when they lost the playoffs, they really were kicking themselves. I guarantee you they would have traded all those 40 touchdowns away just to win a Super Bowl. And that's just the way it is. I want a winner.
Yeah. It sounds like you just described Dak Prescott. Throwing 40 touchdowns, not passing the division round.
All right, and overall, it is like that. That's the name of the game. You're there to win. Like that. And again, McCarthy. He said the only stat I care about is winning. He said it in the draft. He said it in the combine. He's still saying it now. He said y'all can look at my stats all you like. Only stat I cared about was winning. And you know what? The only stat that mattered to him was 27-1 as a starter and a 2023 national champion.
Hey man, 27-1 as a starter is legit. That's a winner right there. Now, speaking of winning, let's get to the schedule and see how many games y'all have winning this year. I mean, y'all had a great year last year, like I said, but it's a new year, new quarterback, some new players are there, some of the same.